I don't worry. I tell you, I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago, and I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.
Yo, folks, check it out. This is my fucking homie right here. We go way the fuck back. Much respect, much love. You're about to meet a real one in the fucking game. But I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Go ahead.
Hi, how are you, Ed? Thank you for inviting me to come on to your podcast, I guess, or
Yeah,
show.
some kind of show, yeah. So look, we know each other a long time, but right now you're involved with something that you've been involved with. It's a real personal story that's been ongoing for a long time.
Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah.
Let me just introduce myself. My name is Nelson Marr. I've worked as a public interest attorney in my day job, representing kids dealing with who have special needs and seeking special education services. My I guess volunteer work that I do a lot of worker organizing. I've been working in the Chinese immigrant community for over 25 years now, actually 30 years now, sorry, let me take that back, close to 30 years now. And currently I'm the president of the 318 Restaurant Workers Union. We represent mainly immigrant Chinese workers. We're an independent union. Most of our members work in Chinese restaurants in the tri-state area. The current battle that we're involved with is the struggle to reopen the Jing Fong dining hall. As I'm sure many of your viewers know, Jing Fong was this beloved restaurant in the heart of Chinatown in Manhattan. It was the largest Chinese restaurant in the East Coast, spanned the whole length of a full city block, and could seat well over 800 patrons at any time. And based on our members' calculations, about 10,000 people visited the restaurant each week back before the pandemic. And unfortunately, the greedy landlord who owns the property where Jing Fong used to operate decided it wanted to push out the restaurant, and so essentially forced it to close and move, putting over 150 workers out of work. Our members made up about half of that, about 75 workers there. So all these people lost their jobs. This is part of the bigger problem of displacement in a lot of communities. It's particularly hitting hard in immigrant and people of color communities, largely because greedy landlords and greedy developers see a lot of profit that they could make in these neighborhoods, because they can buy low and sell high. So what we've seen in Chinatown is just another example of that. The family who owns the property where Jing Fong was the Chu family. They're the biggest commercial landlords in Chinatown, so they own many of the properties that the commercial properties that are in Chinatown. And they built hotels in Chinatown. They've done very little to stop the rising property taxes and the rising rents that are forcing a lot of small business owners to have to close and to move elsewhere because they just can't meet the rents. And so Jing Fong is just another piece of that displacement pressure. And so the workers who lost their jobs said, we're not going to take the standing down. We're going to fight. We're going to hold people accountable, even though the law doesn't give us any legal right to stop the Chu family, Jonathan Chu and Alex Chu, from forcibly, constructively evicting Jing Fong, we're still going to fight and hold them accountable for this real devastating injury that they're causing to the Chinatown community. Because as everyone knows, many of the Chinese immigrant communities were hit really hard by the pandemic, more so than most other communities because of all the racism that came with, the pandemic. A lot of that was stoked by elected officials, including, the racist in chief, former President Trump. All of that, really caused people to, stay away from, Chinese-owned businesses. Jing Fong was hit really hard even before the first case of COVID, was
Yeah.
recognized in.
If I could
China.
just squeeze in something right now. Now, the
Sure.
fact of the matter is that Nelson, just so you know, I knew him from 25 years ago. And even back then, he was talking about Asian American rights. So when he's talking about like Asian American like discrimination, he's looking at that through a lens of being involved in this, in this discussion for over 25 years. It's not like he just watched a couple of shows on it and came up with a decision. He's been really part of it. And also the Jing Fong, he started as a high school student going on a hunger strike. Am I right?
Well, I was actually in law school at the time. So,
Oh, my bad. Okay, my bad. In school.
Yeah.
Before, like, I guess because I met you and I knew you was in school beforehand. Well, you started in law school? Wait. No, it was before. Are you sure? Because you guys was younger. When I met you, you was already in law school and you guys had already done that hunger strike thing.
Yeah, well,
That's just a year before or something? Or?
I was doing a 4-year program at Buffalo, and I met you in year 3.
Okay.
So the hunger strike and the whole Jing Fong campaign, the original fight for justice at Jing Fong to end slave labor occurred in 1995.
Okay.
So that was the end of my first year.
So not just that, right? But he's also worked with De Blasio. He also helped get a rule in the schools that, like, you can't just arrest the kids in the school. If someone's connected, if someone knows the game, if someone's been there from day one, it's this guy. So just want y'all to really understand that when he's saying things, it's not just another fucking dude out there. Go ahead.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, a lot of this comes from having, done a lot of worker organizing, over the last 30 years. I've been president of the 318 Restaurant Workers Union for the last 18 years.
Yeah.
And, I've been involved in struggles, in the garment factories, trying to end sweatshop conditions there.
Yeah, I know. I was there with you, man. I know you the real deal. There ain't no question about it. There's pictures.
We took on Donna Karan. We took on Kathy Lee Gifford.
All kinds
yeah,
of stuff.
Yeah. But I think the more to the point is that the issue that's confronting most people right now is rent burden, right?
Wait. Well, I'm sure it's already been mentioned. Have the restaurants talk about maybe like cooperative ownership and maybe just because I know they own the real estate. That's the problem, right? But what can we do for these people? Is there a fund where we can donate to them, like maybe for the strike or something? What's up?
Yes. Let me pull that up.
Not that anybody's gonna fucking donate, but I'll fucking donate. I'll fucking donate.
Yeah. I think.
Let's see what's really good. Y'all ready to help some Asian motherfuckers? I'm the only Asian American in the progressive media market space. Let's see what's really good. Can you fucking help brother out, please? To let him know, please. Look up this guy Nelson. He's a real fucking guy. I'll make a video about him later.
Yeah, there's a support fund for the laid-off Jing Fong workers. This is to help, because as everyone knows, the pandemic unemployment ended in September. And the workers, like I said,
if you're working undocumented, you ain't getting no unemployment money. If you're working undocumented, you get no unemployment money. That means that life is real grimy for you.
Well, most of the workers at Jing Fong were documented.
Yeah.
So
most.
Yes. But you can go to GoFundMe, support fund for laid off Jing Fong workers. You can just Google that. We're trying to get to our $75,000 goal. We've got about 1/10 of that, but certainly every little bit helps. We also there is a petition that people can sign to save, Chinatown. This is on, I think it's. I'll get the petition link.
I'll put the link
second.
up. Is it on change.org?
I think it's actually.
It's all good. We'll find it. Yeah, the link will definitely be below. Now the thing is that, Nelson, I just printed out 10,000 flyers because remember, back during the Obama era, there was something called RAD in the public housing. They were going to the private sector. So I'm telling people in private housing that they have the right to buy the apartment, making 10,000 flyers. So the people that's watching from the projects, a lot of times you look at the black community, you look at the Latino community, and they're told that our struggle isn't their struggle. They're told that, that the Chinese people keep the money to themselves in their own community. I mean, I buy from black stores all the time. What up? I love the Jamaican patties. What up? I got love for my Haitian brothers out there in the Creole. You know what I mean? I hang with y'all, but the media tells y'all we not part of y'all struggle. How can we let the people in the projects know that we still the same people?
Well, it's important for us to come together and to, really fight together on issues and on approaches that will not divide us. So there.
I know you was definitely part of all those Black Lives Matter protests. I remember you being you was there, man. We was there. We'll post the pictures up, man. This is real. We in your struggle too. Mumia Abu Jamal back in '94, we was fighting for that together. Back in '94.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we marched down Ocean Parkway.
I forgot the addresses, but we did. Yeah, we there with you. Don't forget about us.
Yeah. Well, look, I think it's unfortunate that the media likes to
Divide
put
us.
out these stories about division because that sells papers, that sells clicks, but there are a lot of people within the Asian community working to try to bring people together, and pushing solutions that actually benefit all of us and not just benefit one group against the other. And actually that's one of the things that we're asking the city to do is to actually pass a zoning plan. So we've actually put forward a community-led zoning plan that actually protects not only Chinatown, because we're not looking at it simply as an Asian thing. We're actually, we want to protect the Lower East Side too. Where there's a lot of Latino and African American residents, long-term residents, and a lot of them low-income residents who live in public housing and rent stabilized and rent subsidized housing. That need the protection as well, and so we've put forward a plan that would do that, and unfortunately, Mayor de Blasio, Councilmember Chin, who represents the area, they're in the pocket of real estate. So even though I've done some work with the de Blasio administration, I've been doing it more as trying to hold them accountable on the education side. And here, with regards to the community organizing that we're doing, we're trying to hold them accountable to protecting, low-income people, to protect affordable housing by putting forward a real rezoning plan that will actually protect, the current housing stock, the affordable housing stock, and also prevent, the ability for developers to build high rises.
Is anybody?
Really,
who are your allies right now? Who are some good people that are working with you guys?
Well, our efforts, over the last 10 years have resulted in an electoral victory. We supported Christopher Marte, to run for city council. He won. So he's actually going to be the city council member for District 1.
Sweet.
He is going to push really hard, to try to get this rezoning plan passed. And this really should be an example for how other communities can, actually, replicate this and actually, try to get their protections as well, so that
I'm working with the New York People's Party right now. They just finished their bylaws. They are eager to learn what you have to teach them. I am sure. So thank you so much, man. Yo, incredible work, man. Yeah, we have a lot of stories to tell you about the past. about knowledge about the present, what's going on. There's a lot of exciting shit going on. Yo,
Yeah.
what's up? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think, this is something very timely, and, if your viewers, want to get involved, like I said, they can, donate to the GoFundMe, or they can sign our petition to protect Chinatown and Lower East Side. It's actually on the Action Network. So the petition can be found there. I guess I can always send you the link, and you could put it in, below the video,
Cool.
I guess.
I saw you also work with the Jamal Bowman campaign. I reached out a little bit, but actually Mark Saffman helped talk to his people about disability rights and benefits. So like I've seen you in a lot of places, so I know you're involved in many ways that a lot of people out there, including most of the YouTubers, are not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in the hands-on in ways that others are not.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's really important to support, real, genuine people running for office.
But you also know how to win, right? You guys got Marte in. You saw Bowman's campaign. So when you're in a room of people who think they know how to win elections, that's fine. But having some experience, that means a lot. Thank you.
Well, it's not one person.
It really isn't.
Certainly, I don't deserve, much credit for either Christopher Marte's win or Jamal Bowman's win.
But you got to see what happened. Like you'll recognize, right? Yeah, things are going right or things are going wrong. This is okay. This is probably not okay.
Well, I think the important takeaway, and the important lesson here is that it is really about the hard work of organizing.
Yeah.
That it is really about, talking to people and trying to win people over, and it's about the long game and not the short game, because, we've supported other candidates in the past, but, they didn't win. And, it took a lot of organizing, really 12 years of it, before we got here. So, but there's a lot more to talk about. Can definitely talk about, disability rights issues. The schools to prison pipeline if you want.
Well, one of the things, amongst the candidates, right? You're talking about electoral solutions. There's a lot of disbelief in the electoral solutions in general, but how do you when these candidates have not struggled, when they have not been on welfare, how can you maybe by talking to people like yourself, they can find out what's going on, right? Yeah, but there's a lot of mistrust of candidates in general. And I'm saying that to people in the projects on a regular basis, right? These people never been on fucking welfare. They never been in public housing system. How the fuck do they know what's going wrong? They only know what the manager says. And the manager ain't telling them certain things, and they all know exactly what I'm talking about. So how can we, right? Yeah.
I think that, lived experience is good, but I wouldn't say that, if you don't have it, that's disqualifying.
Okay.
Because we're talking about people who are willing to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes people who've had the lived experiences, are very willing to sell out.
Absolutely, right? So the thing is that there must be accountability.
Exactly.
There must be a process of review.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's a forever war, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's forever
something
war.
We have to do every day.
Yeah. There's no saviors.
so-
You have to keep at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So respect to
And-
people like yourself, right? The candidates come in and they come and they go. But people like yourself, they have corporate campaign consultants that last decade after decade doing their dirty business. But we got people like Nelson here fighting decade after decade. People like myself that are ready to just do what it takes. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's important for people to take leadership roles, but it's also important for people to do what they can within whatever role they're in.
Yeah.
And so I think everyone has the ability to hold their elected officials accountable, and really do it in a way that you're bringing other people together, because your voice alone is good, but it's even better if you can get your neighbor or get your friend. So
Yeah. What about the other restaurant worker unions? Are they around? Are they helping you out? Are they active, not so active? Most restaurant workers I meet, they don't know nothing about no union.
Well, I think unions, a lot of the traditional unions, some of them are not very progressive. Some of them are.
It was Starbucks in Buffalo, son. We was in Buffalo, right?
No, I think there's a lot of good locals out there. Good chapters of different unions that are doing some great work. But I think just like elected officials, you have to hold them accountable, and that's true for unions too. And I tell my membership that all the time. You got to hold me accountable.
So maybe someone's in another restaurant, right? They're in a similar situation. Their restaurant is closed, right? Would they try to go start a new union by themselves, or should they just contact Teamsters? What should be their process to do something similar to what you guys are doing?
Well, I think the most important thing is to try to organize with your immediate coworkers first. Certainly if you feel like like there's a need for help, sometimes reaching out to some of these bigger unions is helpful, but sometimes it isn't. There's a lot of
slightly related, slightly unrelated, right? The thing is that, right, 40% of black men, they say, are not vaccinated. They say that the Asian community is also highly unvaccinated, right? A lot of people have a lot of skepticism, and when the restaurants reopen, right, that could affect the workers. That's going to come down real soon. What do you think about that, and what can we do about that situation to protect these workers?
I mean,
and
personally,
yeah.
I think people should be responsible. And if you're told by your doctor that you can take this vaccine and that would help protect you and protect others from the severe consequences of a disease that is airborne.
With a for-profit vaccine made with a for-profit vaccine that's sold by drug companies that cause the opioid epidemic.
So I understand that, Ed. And me more than anyone else.
You fought against the dirty dirt. Yeah,
I rail against the corporate pharmaceutical industry. But at the same time, we're talking about lives, people's lives, and we're talking about communities.
I met a restaurant worker last night. She says that she's not working because she refused to get the vaccine. So I was just thinking about that. Yeah, that's why. Okay.
Look. A lot of this stuff, you have to sort of parse out like what's really productive and what's really actually going to be harmful. I think I think it is true. Yes, the pharmaceutical industries will profit off of this, but they profit off of everything else. So
they don't
people
have
stop taking.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, are people going to stop taking Tylenol? Are people going to stop taking an aspirin? I mean, how many people take cough medicine? Just to, look.
Or Xannies or Perks.
I think if anything, one of the reasons why the governments and the pharmaceutical industry worked so hard to get a vaccine is because they understood that without workers, the economies would crush, would crumble, and would.
They'll have to do the work. Apart. That's horror to them. They'll have. But what about the machines?
A lot of ways, in a lot of ways, it is actually in their interest to get a vaccine out and to keep people working.
Yeah. Okay.
Think about it. I mean, we were this close to a zombie apocalypse. I remember standing online at Trader Joe's, in like 30-degree temperature, wrapped around the corner, waiting and going into the store and seeing that half the shelves were empty. Okay. We were this close,
Yeah. So I appreciate you taking that little off thing, but just to get back to the topic of what you guys are on, is there anything time bound right now? Are you guys facing the gun? Are there any deadlines coming up where things need to happen? What can we help you with?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, folks can go to our petition, sign the petition. Again, it's on the Action Network. You can Google Action Network, Protect Chinatown Lower East Side. You can also make a donation to our GoFundMe support fund for laid off Jing Fong workers.
What do those funds
You can
generally
also-
pay for,
now,
by the way, just so they know?
The money is going to go to help support the
cash
workers who
assistance,
were laid
food.
off.
Yeah, what is it like?
Yeah,
Wage?
yeah, just help pay for rent. Because they don't have any source of income at this point.
Okay.
And people can come to our regular pickets. We're picketing from Wednesday through Sunday in front of the Museum of Chinese in America, because the Museum of Chinese America is playing a central role in the displacement that's going on in Chinatown. We're there from 11 till 2, so you can come join us. You can definitely find us, because we've got these drums out there. And
You guys got the coffin out there?
We don't have the coffin out there,
Okay.
but we've got drums, and we're doing some solid drumming, for the full 2 hours, the full 3 hours, excuse me.
That's cool,
And
man.
you could probably hear us, 2 or 3 blocks away. So don't worry about getting lost, making your way there. You'll hear the drums as soon as you get out of the Canal Street station.
We're gonna film that. You guys gonna see that soon, yeah? All right. I'm a live time at an event. We're gonna be super live.
That'd be awesome.
No doubt, baby. Hey, man, I know you got that meeting to get to, but any last thing you want to share, the website will definitely be in the links below. Definitely, I plan on having this guy on again. Once again, he's an inspiration. He's definitely someone that, I won a 14-day hunger streak too, man. I was inspired by you guys, yeah? You know what I mean? For real, yeah? I ate some salt.
I appreciate that.
I ate some salt that helped me get by. I couldn't do it without the salt, yeah? Hey, man, thanks again, man.
No, love to come back and talk more.
God bless, brother. I'll see you, all right? Peace.
Okay.
在內啦，咁我見到嗰班工人呢，唔係我嗰班學生呢，咁好為啲即係為自己又為工人啦，咁大犧牲出嚟絕食7日話，如果唔係話個口講話絕食就絕食話，真係唔食嘢嗰7日嘅話，即係要有好大嘅好 strong 嘅人啊，即係好大好個人好 strong 先可以得喎，係咪？即係好大個好有個毅力先可以得嘅喎。
I feel a little tired, frustrated because of stupid sun in my face. I feel like I'm on display. I'm not hungry. The puke on the floor, the smelly stuff all over really can take your appetite away. So maybe that's good,
It's a dark day in our nation when high-level authorities will seek to use every method to silence dissent. The truth must be told.
And if you want the truth, you need to check out independent media producers just like myself, DJ L7. You should subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notifications when I release a new video.
The truth of these
We are
words
on all
is
the
beyond
major
doubt.
platforms. That includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube. Unfortunately, we have definitely seen that these mainstream outlets will cave to corporate interests, so we encourage you to join our independently moderated communities of Reddit and Discord. We also encourage you to subscribe to us on BitChute and Dailymotion so you can see the content that YouTube doesn't want us to let you see. Hey, now it's time for the most important part of the video. That's right. It's time for us to tell you about the Taking Action Group. Do you need an activist? Or maybe there's no activists around willing to help you with your cause and you need to learn to become an activist. That's exactly why we're here. Every week we get up with people from across the nation, in fact even sometimes internationally, and we develop strategies and a game plan to address the issues that are affecting all of us. Every week myself from New York City and of course my co-host Lisa from Los Angeles provide a coast-to-coast perspective on what's going on in the country. If you want to donate to help out with expenses, travel, equipment, stuff like that, then I definitely appreciate it and you can hit us off at Venmo or PayPal. Thanks a lot. Hey, by the way, we also have a merch store, so check it out. Oh my goodness, it seems like you've reached the end of the video, so make sure you check out some of our other videos. Make sure you subscribe. This is your last chance to do so thanks a lot. And looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment below if you have any questions or issues you'd like me to address. And if you're an activist, the time to make things happen is now.